In a previous video, I recently did a review on a new bit of a recording kit that was recently delivered to my small studio, and that is the Grossman Fat Box Isolation Speaker Cabinet. And it's because I now have this, I'm able to very quickly and easily change out speakers that are best suited for my needs. So I have a number of speakers here to compare with each other, but I recently took delivery of one that's kind of always had my interest. Well, hello viewer again, my name's Stu, thanks for joining me for another equipment review, which is gear I actually try out to see if it's what I need for my music recording projects. Now, these are my own opinions, I'm not being paid to do any of this. So, coming up, number 1, the speakers and specifications. Number 2, how do they compare in a tone test side by side? Number 3, conclusion, final remarks. So without further ado, number 1. The doorbell rang again, and I took delivery of a box that weighed next to nothing, and despite having a 12-inch speaker in it, and that's because it's a neodymium speaker, which means that the magnet at the back of the cone is much smaller compared to the more traditional magnet design, and it's very much lighter. This particular speaker is a Celestion Creamback 16 ohm 12-inch speaker, and I bought this because I wanted to possibly replace the speaker in my Marshall vintage cab, which comes with a G12 V-Type 70 watt 16 ohm speaker, which when paired with the Marshall 20 watt Studio Plexi, I just felt it wasn't quite right. Certainly it wasn't a tone I was looking for, and I noticed it quite quickly. So, the speakers I have here for comparison are a Celestion Neodymium Creamback, a Celestion Greenback, a dear friend dropped this one into me, a Celestion G12 V-Type out of the Marshall 1x12 vintage studio cabinet, and a custom Celestion speaker made for Bad Cat Amplification. Now, as I have the Grossman Fat Box, I can quickly and easily swap out the speakers for a direct side-by-side comparison and be assured that the mic placements are the same every time. So, number 2, the speaker comparison. In the isolation cab, I have the Shure SM57 pointing near the speaker cap and a Sennheiser 421 second version pointed near the outer edge of the cone. Now I'm going to balance these in my outboard sound mixer before recording into the video camera. Now, yes, you get different tones depending on the type of mics and the positioning of those mics, and on top of that, amplifiers themselves perform at their best when paired with speakers that are a good fit. So, all I'm doing here is a general test on a number of popular speakers, certainly well suited to the rock genre, just to see how different that they might be, or not. Now, just for the sake of the test, I'm going to leave the top isolation cabinet section off, just so we don't get any added colour to the tone. I'm going to be playing through the Bad Cat Black Cat amplifier head with a clean tone and fairly even EQ settings. Once again, I'm not really setting the amplifier and the speakers up to get a tone that I particularly like. I'm just doing everything very general and I'm not altering it at all. There's a smidgen of reverb on the amplifier. There are no other effects. I haven't done anything in post-production, so I'm just trying to let you hear this just as it is. First test, using a Stratocaster with Fat 60s pickups. the custom Celestion made for Bad Cat. Okay, for the second test, overdrive tones, and yes, you would normally crank the amplifier up to see how the speakers handle a driven load. However, I don't use that kind of setup because my workflow is about keeping the volume levels at a good level, which is still loud, and that helps me in recording. I do utilize other pieces of equipment to control excessive volume, such as an attenuator on the Marshall Plexi or the Soldano SLO pedal, which I reviewed last week. Do take a look at that, it's a very good pedal. So for me, cranking the likes of the Marshall or the Bad Cat to see how the speakers differ from one another is not really a valid test for me. And besides, all my neighbours would soon let me know about it. So the second test is the same setup, but I'll be using the Soldano pedal to give a valve crunch tone at a more manageable volume level, but it's still pretty loud in the room here, and we shall hear if there's any noticeable difference in the tone and the way the speakers handle that. So first up, once again, just using the Stratocaster. So number 3, conclusion, final remarks. Well, for me and what I'm doing in my recording projects, my favourite speakers, they do tend to be the custom Celestion made speaker for the Bad Cat amplifier. I'm not really too sure what speaker type that is. There are some conversations about that on the internet, but what I will say is it's a very, very nice speaker, and it certainly works well with both. Obviously the Bad Cat amplifier, but it also works really well with the Marshall head. However, the Neodymium Creamback also gives a really nice tone that I like. In regard to neodymium speakers, the early ones were, I would say they weren't very popular, but in recent years they really have improved that speaker design, and I first came across them because I used to use a number of Fender digital combos a couple of years back, and apart from the fabulous weight saving, they really did sound very, very good. So neodymium speakers, they're very good. I've heard tests done between the standard magnet Creamback and the neodymium magnet Creamback, and quite frankly, if there's any tonal differences, I would say they're negligible, certainly for my ears. I really can't hear any real difference from my standpoint, and certainly not for recording. Now, your mileage might be different, so please do comment below. In further videos, I hope to continue my studio recording journey, and at present I'm still in the building stage of an amplifier control rack, And in fact, as a particular unit for the rack has just arrived, so I'll be giving a quick review on that. So stay tuned to see how all of that works out. Please do subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, like, share, and so on, because it really does help the channel out. And once again, I do thank you for checking out my channel playlists. I know some of you have enjoyed doing that, and there you're going to find my guitar video series, which covers my journey back playing and recording guitar after a 40-year break. And it's full of stuff on the guitars, amplifiers, pedals, and my ongoing recording journey. It's interesting, some of the changes I've made over the last couple of years. So thank you to all who do take time to comment or to chat to me. I always take the time to engage with folks who take time to comment. So until next time, the journey continues. Do take care of yourself.